This video is designed to help you complete the first 6 steps of the charts_your name project. You will find the direction sheet as well as the charts_your name Excel file in your class announcements for computer literacy. You will also need to watch this video in order to obtain the data that would have been presented in the PowerPoint during class. We're going to start off by saving our file as charts_your name, except we're going to replace the your name with our last name. So you will see I have my direction sheet and my Excel sheet open and side by side. You too can easily move around individual programs, resize them by moving your mouse to the edge of the program, getting that double arrow. You can resize each program so that the directions fit side by side and allow you to complete watching the directions as well as working on the Excel at the same time. You don't have to flip-flop back and forth. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to enter in the data that was collected for each class. And so we are going to click on cell B3. Do not let the text fool you. You need to click on B3 to begin entering your data. So Mrs. Horton's class chose 16 people voted for vanilla. In B4, 2 people voted for double chocolate. In B5, 4 people voted for birthday cake. In B6, 3 people voted for Rocky Road. In B7, 3 people voted for sea salted caramel. In B8, 9 people voted for cookie dough. In B9, 13 people voted for mint chocolate chip, and in B10, 6 people voted for chocolate peanut butter. Notice that the flavors are now cut off. That is not a problem. We will be fixing that in one of our steps. Mrs. Dumas' class voted as well, and 13 people said vanilla, and that is going to go into C3. In C4, 7 people voted for double chocolate. In C5, 1 person voted for birthday cake. In C6, 3 people voted for Rocky Road. In C7, 1 person voted for sea salted caramel. In C8, 13 people voted for cookie dough. In C9, 4 people for mint chocolate chip. And in C10, 5 people for chocolate peanut butter. And now our data is all in the appropriate cells, and we are ready to start with step number 1. Step number 1, select the range A1 to C1. I will take my mouse, and with that white thick plus, I will click, hold in my mouse, and drag over to C1 so that A1, B1, and C1 are selected. Again, I will click on A1, hold in my mouse button, and drag over to C1. I am to merge and center those. So on my home menu, I come over to alignment, there's a button called merge and center. That's going to take A1, B1, C1 and smush them together and center the text into one cell. I click on that. You will see A1, B1, C1 now becomes one cell. I am to fill that cell with a light orange color, so I will come to my paint bucket, drop it down, and choose a light orange color to fill A1, B1, and C1. Step 1 is now done. Step 2 tells me to resize the columns to fit the data. That is so our flavors are no longer cut off, Mrs. Horton's name is not cut off, and Mrs. Dumas's name is not trailing into column D. So I will move my mouse between column A and B, and I get a dark plus with arrows, and I double click, and it will automatically fit the widest entry. Move my mouse between column B and C, double click, fit the widest entry. Move my mouse between column C and D, double click, and it fits the widest entry. Step 2 is now done. Step 3, select A2 to A10. So with my mouse, I click on A2, hold in my mouse and drag down to A10. I am to fill the cells with a light blue color. Come back up to my paint bucket, drop it down, choose a light blue color to fill the cells. Notice I'm not changing the color of the text. I am using the fill bucket to change inside the color of each cell. Step 3 is now done. Step 4, select B2 to C10. B2, click on it, hold in my mouse, drag over to C2 and down to C10. B2 to C10 is selected. Fill the cells with a light gray color. So I will drop down that paint bucket again and use a light gray color as the fill. So our spreadsheet now has a little bit of color and formatting to it. We are going to now go to step 5, which gets us to the part where we're going to insert our column chart. So I'm going to actually move my Excel over a little bit so we can see a little more of the menu. We're going to select A2 to C10. So if I click on cell A2, hold in my mouse, I drag over to C2 and down to C10. I'm going to click on the Insert menu, Insert. I'm going to come over to the Charts section of the Insert menu, and I'm looking for Insert Column or Bar Chart, this button right here. When I drop this down, I'm choosing a 3D column chart. Any one of these are acceptable. I'm just going to choose this first 3D column chart. I can click in the white section of the chart and drag to move it. So I'm going to move it over here so it is in sight for all of us to see. Step 5 is finished. Step 6 tells us click on the chart and click the chart title and enter favorite ice cream flavors as the chart title. So if I click on the chart title, I'm going to select it. I will type in favorite ice cream flavors. And now we are completed up to step 6, which is where you needed to be at the first day of the project. We will save this as File, Save As, charts _ your name. You are ready for day 2, which will start with step 7.